Brother, if your relationship just went to the shitter, you already know that this is the most time-consuming and emotionally consuming thing in your entire life. It's going to affect your business, it's going to affect your ability to be a parent, it's going to affect everything. You wake up in the morning with anxiety and you go to bed at night, and this is the last thing that you think about when you go to bed at night. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to get through this emotional turmoil as fast as possible, because I can tell you right now, your ability to either move on as fast as possible or to get her back hinges on your ability to get past this pain as quickly as possible. And you don't want to be here anyway. You don't even want to be watching this video. But you're here, and so you're going to watch this, and you're going to do all the things that I tell you to do, and you're not going to skip any of the steps, and you're going to do everything as I prescribe it so you can actually get through this as fast as possible. My name is Ed Baxter, and I help guys in betrayal situations. I've coached thousands of men, tens of thousands of men who've come through my doors in one form or another. I've had over 3,000 guys come through the Betrayed to Badass program, and that's what we do. We'll get you to that place where you make the right decision for you and your children. The first thing is stop sedating. And what do I mean by sedation? Distracting yourself. And so sedation is this whole thing of, I'm not going to deal with the thing that's right in front of me. In other words, I'm going to watch TV. I'm going to look at porn. I'm going to smoke weed. I'm going to drink. I'm going to distract myself with work instead of actually dealing with what's going on inside. And guys sedate themselves in two ways. It's not that bad, and I've got time. In fact, that's how you got here. That's how you got to watching this video, was you did this with your relationship. It's not that bad, and I've got time, just to find out that she's telling you that I love you, but I'm not in love with you anymore. She's fucking some other guy. And so you played that game with yourself. You deluded yourself. You weren't telling the truth about the situation. You said, I've got time, and it's not that bad. And so if you're doing that now, just realize you're sedating. And if you're sedating, that means you're refusing to do the internal work required to get past this and actually make these changes that will permanently transform you in some manner. And so you have to do the inner work. You have to be willing to stop and look inside and see really what's going on within you. If you're not willing to do that, nothing else is going to work. It doesn't matter how many YouTube videos you watch, it doesn't matter how many tactics you go through, you're still going to come off as a needy guy who just cannot get his head out of his wife's ass, who just cannot get past the anxiety of a trauma bond, who just cannot get past the guilt and shame of neglecting his wife and children for years. If you are unwilling to do this, you might as well just not do anything. It doesn't matter what program you get, doesn't matter what video you watch, doesn't matter what book you read or podcast you listen to, you will be unwilling to make any kind of transformational change because you will not look inside. And most guys will look inside just enough to feel a little bit better. He's like, okay, that's good enough. Now I've got some more time and it's not that bad anymore. And then he just goes back and repeats the same shit with the next woman. Except now he's 55 years old and he's on some website and he's finding sugar babies. And he's like, she's really attractive. He's like, no, dude, she's attracted to your fucking money. She's pretending that she's attracted to you. And he gets deluded. He thinks, I figured this out. No, you didn't figure shit out. You just have a thick bank account. You're flaunting your money around trying to get sex, which that can happen, but let's not bullshit ourselves on the terms of this agreement. If you want to have a soul-seducing relationship, you want to have a soulmate, remember, soulmates are created, they are not found. You're not going to find it on the other end of a checkbook. So you're willing to focus inward. You're willing to figure out what's going on deeply within yourself. The second step is, let's get your routine started. Okay, what do you mean by routine? A morning routine. Like, okay, Ed, well, why is a morning routine important? Because we need to stack some fucking wins. Right now, you've been losing a lot. Most likely you've been losing often and you've been scrambling and flailing around trying to get this woman's attention to try to have at least one critical conversation that actually is productive, and yet you can't. She's blocked you, or she says, I'm done talking. You keep bringing up relationship problems. So you can't find any wins with her. And so we have to back it up and find some wins with you. So we start with habits. What kind of routine do you have in the morning? And your routine should be some sort of a mental health routine to get your mind right, to reduce the anxiety, process internal emotions, getting your physical body moving. So what we want to do is start stacking your morning routine. If you can't get your morning routine worked out, probably your evening routine sucks balls. So go back and look at what's happening at night and get yourself a solid bedtime, and then you'll find out that the rest of your morning routines will probably shake out the way you intend for them to. Once you start stacking these wins, the third thing is we need to reduce your emotional reactivity. The number one thing that can save a relationship, or at least help you move on as fast as possible, is emotional non-reactivity. And so we have to start depersonalizing the things that she's doing. We have to start depersonalizing all the things that are happening in your life and look at them as just as challenges that must be overcome, or opportunities for your own improvement. I can't tell you the number of guys who come in the Broken to Badass program and they start leveraging the tools and they start getting their emotional resiliency through the fucking roof. And then when a couple of days, maybe a week, his wife's begging for him to come back. Why? Because he's not chasing after her anymore. And he's not doing it as a tactic to try to get her back, because he's actually made a transformational change within, and she sees this. She can intuitively see this. Women are very intuitive. They can tell exactly what's going on with you before you even open your mouth. This is why when you're not truthful with her, she's like, he's a fucking liar. Her respect for you goes down, which means your power goes down, which means her attraction for you goes down, and her faith in you as a husband goes down. When we start stacking these wins with the morning habits and your emotional resiliency, all of a sudden you're a different kind of guy. You start demonstrating power, and power is very seductive. Women look for power in a man. It's like moths to a flame. I'm not kidding you. Even my wife will tell you, power is magnetic. And so you being able to demonstrate your own personal, not forcing anything. If you have to force it, you're not powerful. If you have to force it, you're weak. But if you can demonstrate power through exemplary behavior, then she's going to see that this is a different kind of guy. This is a guy that's been operating different than the last 14 years. This is the guy that I want to see what's really going on, and she's going to test you. Is this really true? Is this the guy that he says he is, or is he just a fucking liar like he's been the last 17 years? Emotional resiliency is the number one deciding factor of you actually being able to follow through with your morning habits. What's actually going to follow through with, are you going to make a transformational change? Are you willing to look within? Are you willing to make a change necessary in your life to actually have a great experience as a man and a human being? Most people are not willing to do that. Most people just want to do the bare minimum to get by because they want to play in the game of sedation of, it's good enough and I want more time. That's all they want. They don't want to fucking go towards a vision or a reason for them to live, like a really compelling reason. And so the woman has nothing to follow. The woman looks at him, hey, where are we going? He's like, baby, I've made it. I got my job and I got my business and we got the kids. And that's all we really need. And she's like, well, that's great and all, but like, you're really killing my vibe here. I want a powerful man that I can follow. And you're just like content to kind of sit around and have me do the dishes and let me take care of the kids. And we don't even really interact that much outside of, and I'm always stressed all the time because you're not bringing emotional resiliency. And so I'm kind of left to my own devices. I'm unmoored here. Again, your ability to be emotionally resilient carries into everything else. It allows your wife to moor onto your stability. If you're unstable, she can't moor onto you. And then what ends up happening is she's just floating around in the ocean, wondering where the fuck you're going to rise up. Where's her husband? Where's this guy with all this potential that she thought that you had? 4, start hanging out with guys who are doing big shit. Some really cool big dick shit. Most guys are not doing this. Most guys are just hanging out with some other guys that were from high school or college. And they're like, well, they're my buddies. We've been hanging out for a long time. It's like, but are they really serving you? Are they really inspiring you to do anything? And are you really inspiring them? If you're a guy out there doing big shit, and you're like the top of the pack in your group and they're not really doing a lot of stuff, those guys are going to envy you and they're going to sabotage you. You want to be with other top performing guys who will celebrate your fucking success, who you can bring your problems to instead of bringing them to your wife, who then sees you as being weak in this endeavor. Now, it's okay to express your feelings to your wife, but for her to see you failing and her to feel you failing at life and lose faith in yourself, she can never see this. You got to bring this shit to your badass buddies who will then kick you in the dick and get you back and inspired towards what you want again. If you're not surrounding yourself with these kind of guys, make no mistake, then the guys that you are surrounding yourself with are bringing you down. And if you've got nobody, you're isolated because you just work on your family and your wife and that's it, and your work, you're isolated in your place and you have no place to draw power on except from God. And I can guarantee you, if you don't have other guys that you see succeeding and doing bigger shit than you, you're not going to be inspired to do more. You're just not. You are required to do this as a man for part of your own fulfillment. And if you've never had this in your life, just realize you're missing out on a huge portion of your own inner fulfillment being around other guys that are doing big shit, that are inspiring and fun, and you can really bring your problems to. These guys will help you out. Your wife is not your therapist. Your wife cannot be the one to bring you up and build you up as a man. You have to build yourself up and you have to put yourself in a crucible of other top performers and they'll show you where you're at. They'll show you what you're made of. And if you're too afraid to do that because you're afraid of being exposed, just realize that, yeah, once again, you're a liar and you're sedating. And you're like, I got time and it's not bad enough. Just realize if you play that game of sedation long enough, karma's going to smack you so fucking hard upside the head, you won't be able to ignore it, and you will be laid low until you come to this realization and you finally bow down in humility and say, I've had enough, God, help me move forward. And the 5th one is, fix what's wrong. Fucking fix what's wrong with your life, dude. You're sitting here and you're worried and you're crying about things, you're having all this anxiety and you're trying to look for your wife to make you feel better. Like, oh, we just have to have this conversation. She just needs to understand how much I love her. It's like, no, dude, you need to fucking fix yourself. Fix your life. Fix your why. Fix your reason for why you're actually here. And getting your marriage back cannot be your reason. Being like, I will do anything. It'll be my life's mission to save this marriage. Like, you're missing the fucking boat, dude. You're not here to save your marriage. You're here to save yourself. God needs you to rise the fuck up. Not to be this guy who's just, I'm going to save my marriage. Like, well, if it was that important to you, why'd you let it get to this point? And so this is why she can't trust you, because you put everything on her. You don't put the foundation of the relationship. You don't put the foundation of your own being of rising up under yourself. And this is what she needs. And when you do this, you realize that all of your mental anguish, all of your emotional anguish isn't because your wife left. It's because it revealed to you you had nothing else going on in your life except for her. You didn't have shit going on. And you're like, you try to hide behind your kids. Oh, well, I got to keep them together keep the family together for the kids. Yeah, that's great. Now you're just going to recreate the same situation in their lives. They're going to copy and do the same shit you did. You just subjugated yourself to your wife constantly. Great. So will your boys, and your daughters will not respect men at all. So you can hide behind God. God doesn't believe in divorce. Okay, cool, but that still doesn't solve the problem of you not rising up as a man on your own. So like, what are you going to do? You don't have time, and it is that bad. And if you want to turn this around really quick, literally within days, emotionally, and then in a couple of months you'll be firing all fucking cylinders, and you want her to come back to you, join the Broken to Badass program. The link is below in the description. We've done this thousands of times. At this point, it's not an if you're going to be successful, it's a when. And the thing is that the guys who are successful in the program decide they're going to be successful. If you don't make that decision to succeed, no amount of tactics is going to matter. If you keep looking at the game of, I've got time and it's not bad enough and I'm going to do just the minimum required to move forward, you will always have these problems. You will always be cheated on. Every woman that you're with will finally lose interest and you'll be like, what's going on? I just want love in my life. Cool. Well, why don't you start loving yourself? Brother, if you love this video, hit the like button. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. And I'll see you in the next one.